Tighter. Now see.
You ready to pray?
All right.
Devarim of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael.
Yahuwah Eloheinu.
Yahuwah Eloheinu.
Yahuwah Echad.
Yahuwah Echad.
Shemot, or Exodus chapter 20 at verse 3. We will have no other mighty ones.
We will have no other mighty ones
against the Most High.
Against the Most High.
We will not make any carved image.
We will not make any carved image.
Or any likeness.
Or any likeness.
Of that which is in Shamayim above.
That which is in Shamayim above.
Or which is in the earth beneath.
Or which is in the earth beneath.
Or which is in the waters under the earth.
Or which is in the waters under the earth.
We will not bow down to them.
We will not bow down to them.
Nor serve them.
Nor serve them.
For Yahuwah our El.
For Yahuwah our El.
Is a jealous El.
Is a jealous El.
Visiting the wickedness.
Visiting the wickedness.
Of the fathers on the children.
Of the fathers on the children.
To the third and fourth generation.
To the third and fourth generation.
For those who hate him.
Those that hate him.
But showing kindness.
Showing kindness.
To thousands of those.
Thousands of those.
Who love him.
Who love him.
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments.
We will not bring the name.
We will not bring the name.
Of Yahuwah our El.
Of Yahuwah our El.
To nothing.
To nothing.
For Yahuwah.
For Yahuwah.
Will not leave us unpunished.
Will not leave us unpunished.
Who brings his name to nothing.
Who brings his name to nothing.
We will remember the Shabbat day.
We will remember the Shabbat day.
To keep it Kodesh.
To keep it Kodesh.
6 days we will labor.
6 days we will labor.
And do all our work.
And do all our work.
But the seventh day.
But the seventh day.
Is the Shabbat.
Is the Shabbat.
Of Yahuwah our El.
Of Yahuwah our El.
For in 6 days.
For in 6 days.
Yahuwah made Shamayim.
Yahuwah made Shamayim.
And the earth.
And the earth.
And the sea.
And the sea.
And all that is in them.
And all that is in them.
And rested the seventh day.
And rested the seventh day.
Therefore Yahuwah brought the Shabbat day.
Therefore Yahuwah will rock the Shabbat day.
We will respect our fathers.
We will respect our fathers.
And our mothers.
And our mothers.
So that days are long.
That our days are long.
Upon the earth.
Upon the earth.
We will not murder.
We will not murder.
We will not commit adultery.
We will not commit adultery.
We will not steal.
We will not steal.
We will not bear false witness.
We will not bear false witness
against our neighbor.
Against our neighbor.
We will not covet.
We will not covet
anything that is our neighbor.
That is our neighbor.
Father, y'all, we give thanks for this day, for this set apart day, the Shabbat, Father, to be obedient unto your word, Father, to be diligent unto your word in our studies, Father. We pray and ask, Father, that every heart and soul and every person gathered together, Father, that you would be in the midst with us, Father, that your Ruach will reside with us, Father, that you would allow your word to proceed forth, that you would allow your word to be received, Father, with thanksgiving and gladness, Father. Father, we pray that you will open up the hearts and the minds of your people to receive your word. Allow utterance unto the speaker and understanding unto the hearer, so that we all may be doers of your word. Father, we pray for all the souls who are still on their way here, that you would allow them to make it here safely, Father. We give thanks on this day, Father, for all the peace and the blessings that you have bestowed upon each and every one of us, Father. We say thank you, and we ask that you would just be with us on this Shabbat. We thank you for the Shabbat, a day of rest, a day to recuperate, a day to show reverence unto you and your name, Father. All these things we pray and we give thanks. Bashem Yehovah, Benkai Yehoshua, Hamashiach, Uraka Kodesh, so be it.
So be it. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
How's everybody doing this week? Good? Right. I want a special prayer for one of my childhood friends. He in the hospital right now in a coma, so everybody can send up prayers for him. And definitely shout out to my mom. She ain't here feeling herself today. So I thank y'all for that. All right. So we're going to get into this lesson entitled The Marriage. All right. And if y'all ever watched any lesson that I've done or been around any lesson that I've done, and you thought that I brought out something deep or whatever, so this one, if you took anything from any lesson that I've ever done, I want you to really, really take this one to heart. Got me? Really, really take this one to heart. So again, this is entitled The Marriage. So in the scriptures, the Most High referred to the children of Israel as what? His bride, right? So in the scriptures, we got two women. We got one that's called a harlot and one that's called a bride, right? Most High is supposed to be our husband, right? But so if it's a harlot, then it must be somebody else out there as well, right? So somebody in the form of acting like a husband, but he really like a harlot have that rock with them. Like a pimp, right? So you got two women. You got a harlot and a bride. You got the Most High, and you got a pimp, so to speak. Right? So a husband, or the Most High, he has laws, statutes, rules, regulations, and stuff, right? The other one doesn't have rules, regulations. His only law is do as thou wilt, or don't do what he say do, right? So whatever is law, don't do it, do the opposite. Do as you will, right? The bride, she likes to be corrected. She likes to be shown that she's at fault when she do something, right? But the harlot is loud, proud, belligerent. Right? Are following me so far?
Yeah.
So, and to be a part of this wedding, it has a dress code. Keep all this in mind. Let's get Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22, pick it up at verse 1.
Book of Matthew, chapter 22 at verse 1. And Yeshua answered and spake unto them again by parables.
By what?
By parables.
By parables. Go ahead.
And said, Maim is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son.
He did what?
He made a marriage for his son.
He made a marriage for his son. This is titled the marriage. Read on.
And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding. And they would not come.
And they were what?
They would not come.
They would not come. So if you don't come to the wedding, what does that leave you? If you don't come to this wedding that you're being bidden to, where does that leave you? Not in a good place. The Most High is He is the what? He the bridegroom. So if he come to marry you and you don't come, where does that leave you? Man, it's not a good thing. But right here it says that the people would not come. Read on.
And he sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fattening are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage.
Do what?
Come unto the marriage.
Come unto the marriage. Read.
But they made light of it.
They did what?
They made light of
He
it.
said they made light of it. He invited you to come to his wedding. I'm sending out for you. And they making light of it. Read.
And went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth.
He was what?
He was wroth.
He was wroth about this. Because you don't want to come to the wedding. Read.
And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Then said he to his servants, The wedding is ready.
The what?
The wedding is ready.
Go ahead.
But they which were bidden were not worthy.
They were what?
Were not worthy.
So these people that was bidden, they wasn't even worthy. Read.
Go you therefore into the highways.
Into where?
Into the highways.
Read.
As many as you shall find, bid to the marriage.
As many as you can find, bid them to come to the marriage.
So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good.
Both what?
Both bad and good.
Both bad and good. So he said, invite all of them to the wedding, both bad and good. Read.
And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Come as you are.
A man which had not had on a wedding garment.
He said, this man, you came to the wedding, but you don't got on a wedding garment. You came in here with gym shoes on. So this is foolish, right? You go to a wedding, you got on a Nike tracksuit. So when we used to go to the clubs and stuff, right? They'll tell you it's a dress code, right? So boy, we about to drive all the way up to Flint, boy. They be up there. We told you before you came, look, can't wear them gym shoes, bro. Can't wear no hat in here. But he didn't get a haircut. So he drive all the way to Flint And you get to the door. You got on gym shoes. It's a dress code, right? That's what this is talking about. Read that again.
And so those servants, no, I'm sorry. And when the king, verse 11, and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how came you in here not having a wedding garment?
How come what?
How came you in here not having a wedding garment?
He said, how come you came here not having on a wedding garment? Read.
And he was speechless.
He was what?
Speechless.
He was speechless. Read.
Then said the king to the servants, Bind him.
Do what to him?
Bind him.
Bind him. What does that mean, bind? Tie this man up, because you came here dressed inappropriately. Read.
Bind him, hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness.
Do what to him?
Cast him into outer darkness.
Read.
And there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
He said there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Why?
For many are called.
Many are called.
But few are chosen.
But few are chosen. So he can call everybody, both bad and good, to come to the wedding, right? Then he said a lot of them, you ain't even worthy. Now, this is what this really means. Many are called, but few are chosen. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, let me ask y'all something. How does a bride look? Yeah. What is she? All brides ain't pretty. You know what's It's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's what. Say it again.
I want a wedding gown.
A wedding gown. So when you think of a wedding gown, what comes to your mind? What color? White, right?
Unless.
All right, so this is the Western mind of thinking, right? Because we thinking of a white dress and all of this type of stuff, right? But remember, this ain't written to us. This ain't written to the people in America. We got to think in an Eastern mind frame. Always. We can't apply stuff and make it fit where we are. Keep that in mind. Let's see. Revelation chapter 17 and verse 3. Because I told you it's a wife or bride and there's a harlot, right? Revelation chapter 17, verse 3.
Revelation 17 and verse 3. So he carried me away in the Ruach into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
What's she have on?
Was arrayed in purple and scarlet color.
She was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. What else?
And decked with gold and precious stones.
So she got on gold, precious stones. So if y'all can think, when y'all see some of them in like Hamtramck and in Dearborn, when you see like them, they close in their window, how they look? They look something like what this is talking about, right? Because that's from the Eastern world, not the Western world. So every time you go out there and have Hamtramck or Dearborn and you ride through there and you look in their windows, all of them dresses are real nice and colorful with, you know what I'm saying, with studs and stuff on it. Read on.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations.
Full of what?
Abominations.
Go ahead.
And filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Babylon the Great, The mother of harlots.
The mother of what?
The mother of harlots.
So this is a harlot, right? Read.
And abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
She did what?
I wondered with great admiration.
John is a righteous man, right? Why is he admiring a whore? Why would he do this? Why is he looking at a whore with great admiration? Anybody? Why would he be looking at a whore and admiring her? John, a righteous man. What? Oh, come on.
Okay, I think he was in whatever you call it, because he was dumbfounded in style that wow, this poor was able to do this to these people.
Guess what? You're gonna see something. This is why he admiring her. Remember, I told you to think in an Eastern mind frame, right? Let's get Isaiah 61 and 9.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 61 and verse 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahuwah has blessed. I will greatly rejoice in Yahuwah.
One moment. One moment. All right, I'm gonna come back to this so we can move on. Get on Matthew chapter 13, verse 24.
Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of Shamayim is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat.
Verse what?
Verse 25.
Okay, go ahead.
And went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? From where has the tares? He said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servant said unto him, will you then that we go and gather them up? But he said, no, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest.
Why they gotta go together? Why you say don't loot them up? Can't recognize them, right? Because they look what? They look alike. I was in the right place. Isaiah 61 and 10. Pick it up at verse 9, just like you did. I was in the right place.
Isaiah 61 and verse 9. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which Yahuwah hath blessed. I will greatly rejoice in Yahuwah. My soul shall be joyful in my Elohim, for he hath clothed me with the garment of salvation.
With the what?
With the garments of salvation.
With the garment of salvation. This means he had the wedding with the right garment. Read.
He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as his bride adorn herself with her jewels.
With what?
With her jewels.
Adorns herself with jewels. So the whore looks just like the bride. This is why John is admiring her. And he's looking at her in this way, because she looked like the bride is supposed to look. Same thing with the wheat and the tares. So only the Most High can tell the difference. Man jumping ahead and doing something on his own, because you might think that you're doing something good, but you might be actually attacking the bride. So when we think of a whore in our minds, how does she look? Classy, half naked. But when Tamar played the harlot, what did she do? She covered herself. She covered her face up. So it's completely opposite of the way that we think about this stuff over here. So because she covered her face and covered herself, Judah thought that she was a harlot. Right? Keep that in mind. So these two, the whore and the bride, they actually look alike. All right? Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2. We're going to pick it up at verse 3.
Revelations 2 and verse 3. And has borne and has patience. Verse 2.
Yeah. Matter of fact, pick it up at verse 2.
I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil.
Which are what?
Which are evil. And you have tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars.
Have found them what?
Liars.
Have found them liars, read.
And have borne and have patience, and for my name's sake have labored and have not fainted.
Have not what?
Fainted.
Have not fainted. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 1 and pick it up at verse 11.
Revelation 1 and verse 11. Saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what you see, write in a book and send it unto the seven congregations which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea.
So right here, it's 7 congregations, right? In Isaiah 4 and 1, it talks about 7 women shall take hold of one man, right? It's actually speaking about him. So Mashiach has 7 wives, so to speak. Really one that makes up the body. But right here it's using the metaphor of him having 7 wives. All of these congregations, right? Now, this is a love letter to his congregations or to his wives. He's writing something, he let them know. I like this about you. I like this about you. But this I don't like about you, right? I like this about you, but this, I don't like this about you. So out of all of these congregations, which one does everybody want to be from? Church always say we are part of this congregation. It's Philadelphia. Because Philadelphia is the only one that gets to escape without punishment or going through anything. This is his one bride who fulfills everything that he asks. So everybody wants to be a part of Philadelphia. Even if you don't know it, you want to be a part of Philadelphia. I want to be a part of Philadelphia. We're going to find out why. So, Philadelphia, it's the only one that's going to escape through without a punishment. Matthew chapter 25, pick it up at verse 1. Remember the marriage. He bidded a whole bunch of people. He bid everybody to the marriage. Some people just flat out said, I'm not going. I don't want to go. Some people wasn't worthy, but he still sent out for everybody. Read Matthew 25:1.
Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of Shamaim be likened unto 10 virgins.
Likened unto what?
Unto 10 virgins.
Unto 10 virgins. Read.
Which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise.
5 were what?
Were wise.
5 are wise and what?
And 5 were foolish.
And 5 was foolish. Read on.
They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Read.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight.
So all of them is sluggish. All of them slumbered and slept. But 5 got oil and 5 don't. 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. Read.
There was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom comes. Go you out to meet him. And all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go you rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
Do what?
And buy for yourselves.
So he says, but rather go you to them that sell and buy it for yourselves. Read on.
And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went with him to the marriage. And the door was shut.
And the what?
And the door was shut.
And the door was shut. So when we go back to Noah's Ark, when it says, and Yah shut them in, what does that mean for everybody else outside? It's a wrap, right? When them angels got Lot into that house and they closed that door in Sodom and Gomorrah, what did that mean? It's a wrap, right? So if you don't get inside the door of the marriage, what does it mean for you? It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. What verse is that?
11.
Go ahead.
Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Master, Master, open to us.
Do what?
Open to us.
Once the door is closed, it's too late. Read.
But he answered and said, truly I say unto you, I know you not.
What?
I know you not.
Is this like not the worst thing in the world that you can hear? I know you not. I don't know you. Because you must be the harlot. I don't know you. So that door been closed. And he say, I don't know you. Away. So 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. So now we got to find out what's the definition of wise and foolish according to script? Let's go and see. Let's get Proverbs chapter 9. So if he bids you to the wedding, they say, oh man, that game coming on, man, or Deontay Wilder and them gonna be boxing, man. Like I'm gonna stay at home and watch the fight. Not wise for you. Proverbs 9 and 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 10. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom.
The what?
The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom.
So he says the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. So remember, it's 5 wise and 5 foolish. He said the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. Go ahead.
And the knowledge of the set apart is understanding.
And the knowledge of the set apart is understanding. So once you fear Yah, you start to become what? Wise, right? This is the beginning of it. But if you don't fear him, that means you're not wise. You're not going to get wise. Or you're not going to do what he asks you to do. Give me Proverbs 14:16.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14 and verse 16. A wise man fears and departs from evil.
You do what?
A wise man fears and departs from evil.
He says a wise man fears and departs from evil. Why does the wise man fear? Why does he stop doing evil? Exactly. He stopped. It ain't a trick. I ain't in a debate with nobody in here. So I'm not trying to corner you in no way. Finish that out.
A wise man fears and departs from evil, but the fool rages and is confident.
He said, but a fool rages and is confident. Why would a fool be confident? And can y'all think of anybody that's a fool that's completely confident? It says that the fool rages and is confident. Y'all think of anybody in scripture that's a fool but completely confident? Let's see. Let's get Luke chapter 18. Pick it up at verse 9. So we're trying to find out the difference between wise and foolish, because 5 was wise, 5 was foolish. Yep, Luke chapter 18 and verse 9.
Luke 18 and 9. And he spake this parable unto certain which trusted themselves.
Did what?
Which trusted in themselves.
He said they trusted within themselves. It told us that the fear of Yah is the beginning of wisdom, not the fear of you, to trust in you, right? Read.
That they were righteous and despised others. 2 men went up into the temple to pray, and one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself: Elohim, I thank you that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican. I fast twice in the week.
You do what?
I fast twice in the week.
You fast twice a week. Read.
I give tithes of all that I possess.
I pay tithes. Read.
And the publican, standing afar off, would not lift up as much as his eyes unto Shamayim, but smote upon his breast, saying, Elohim, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other.
Rather than what?
Rather than the other.
Rather than the other. So the one was completely confident that he going into the kingdom. Complete confidence. Talking about this other man right next to him. I pray I'm not like this dude. Confident that he gonna make it in. But he just said, which one is justified? The sinner, the one that was afraid to look up to him, but says, forgive me, I'm a sinner, confess. But this dude is completely confident that he gonna make it in. Anybody in the Old Testament fit this that y'all can think of? Confident fool. Let's see. Korah. Let's get on Numbers chapter 16. Now remember, it says that Moses was the meekest man on the earth. And Miriam spake against him, right? What happened to Miriam? She got leprosy and put outside the camp. This means everybody know about this, right? Dang, what happened to Miriam? Wow, man, she must have been running her mouth for talking about Moses. Told him about doing that stuff. Everybody know about it, right? She got put out. Just like if it happened in our time right now, everybody will know what happened and people will be talking about it. Read that, Numbers 16 and 1.
Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, and the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moshe, with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses.
They did what?
Gathered themselves together against Moses.
They gathered themselves together against Moses. So they already know what happened to Miriam and them for coming at Moses. So now they coming at Moses because they trying to take the priesthood from him. What happened to Korah and all his people? Anybody know? The ground opened up and swallowed them down. So Korah was a confident fool to go against Moses, and you already know what happened to Miriam, his sister. And now you're going to try to pull up a coup and take them down. So that we can think of any modern day scribes and Pharisees that's completely confident that they're going to make it. There's somebody that be on the streets that say this. You wicked white bee, we gonna get to rape you in the kingdom. I'm gonna do this to you. We're gonna be in the kingdom and we're gonna have your little Edomite devils and we're gonna be raping you. Wow. You think you're gonna get to rape people in the kingdom? But they actually say that they're gonna be in the kingdom, talking about raping and killing people. If your homicide give me the power right now, I'll cut your head off, you wicked devil. Stupid beat. That's what we're talking about. Confident fool. Right? That's what that Proverbs is saying. That he says that the wise is like this, but the fool rages and is confident. That's not, you're not wise at all. Let's see what a wise man say. Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Philippians 2 and 12.
Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as you have always obeyed, not in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
With what?
With fear and trembling.
Paul is telling you to do this with fear and with trembling, not to be so overthinking that you know that you're getting in there. So he's telling you to work it out with fear and with trembling. He ain't overconfident. And this is Paul saying this. He met Mashiach in a form, but he ain't super overconfident in himself. So Paul ain't a fool, is what he's showing you. Philippians 3:10.
Philippians chapter 3 and verse 10. That I may know him and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead.
So Paul says, if by any means I might. Again, this is Paul saying this. Not overconfident, not a fool. He's saying I might, that I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead. Read on.
Not as though I had already attained.
He said, not as though I already attained it. That's the people that's talking about I'm saved. They already feel like I'm there. You know what I'm saying? At church, they teach, oh, you saved, sanctified, saved once, saved always. No, you're not. Paul is saying right here, that's a fool speaking. He's telling you right here, not as though I already attained it. Read.
Either were already perfect, but I follow after. If that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Yeshua HaMashiach. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press toward the mark.
I got the mark already.
I press toward the mark.
I press toward it. I'm working to it. Not thinking that I already got it. Not thinking I got this thing lit. Because once you do that, you're going to slip right back into what you don't want to be doing. Finish that out.
I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of Elohim in Yeshua HaMashiach.
Proverbs 9. Verse 8. Proverbs 9 and 8.
Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 8. Reprove not a scorner.
Do what?
Reprove not a scorner.
Reprove not a scorner. Read.
Lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you.
He will do what?
He will love you.
He says, rebuke a wise man, and he will do what?
He will love you.
Remember, the wife, this bride, she likes to be corrected. She likes to be shown that she's doing something wrong. If she's doing something wrong, bring it on, show it to me. But he said, a fool do what?
Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate you.
He says, reprove not a scorner, lest he hate you. So some people, you try to show them that they may be doing something wrong, when they turn, you can't judge me. I get you peacefully. I get you. Hey, I really don't mean that. Who do you think you are? Wow, I didn't think I'm nobody. I can show you what it really means. Hit me on the phone, bro. No need to do this, right? So this is what it's talking about, though. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate you, but if you rebuke a wise man, he will love you. Verse 9.
Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser.
He will be what?
Yet wiser.
He will be yet wiser. Remember, it's 5 wise and 5 foolish. We want to make sure that we not the foolish ones, right? Read on.
Teach a just man, And he will increase in learning.
He will do what?
Increase in learning.
He will increase in learning. But the foolish don't want to hear it. He'll get mad at you. Proverbs 17 and 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 10. A reproof enters more into a wise man.
He says a reproof enters more into a wise man. Read.
Than 100 stripes into a fool.
So he said you can whoop that foolish man in his back 100 times and he still won't get it. He still won't get it. So this is the whole thing of arguing all day about who Esau is and who the 12 tribe chart and all of this stuff is over and over and over again. They don't get it because you don't want to get it. So he letting you know, whoop this dude in his back 100 times and he still won't get it. Read that again.
A reproof enters more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool.
And 100 stripes into a fool. Proverbs 12 and 15. We're going through these because we got to make sure that we ain't in the foolish crowd.
Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that listens. Let me start over. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes.
Is right in what?
His own eyes.
In his own eyes. Remember that Pharisee prayed within himself. Not in Yah, he prayed within himself. I thank you that I'm not like other men. I'm not like this sinner, this publican. I fast twice a week. I pay tithes. I'm not an extortioner. I don't do these things. That's a fool. Finish that out.
But he that listens unto counsel is wise.
He that listens unto counsel is wise. Proverbs 13 and 14.
Proverbs 13 and 14. The law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death.
It is what?
A fountain of life to depart from the snares of death.
So the wise have something. What do the wise have according to this verse? The law. It says the law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snare of death. So they got a law. Proverbs 18 and 2.
The book of Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 2. A fool has no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself.
He says a fool have no delight in understanding. It told us that the fear of Yah is what? Wisdom. But this fool has no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. So this is a person that does what? Gets in his feelings. Where do the feelings come from? The heart, right? What's the scripture something about the heart? Let's get it, because I know everybody know that one. Jeremiah 17, verse 9.
Jeremiah 17 and 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked.
And desperately what?
And desperately wicked.
And desperately wicked. But as you can see, a fool have no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. So the fool follows his heart. He do what feels good to him. Oh, it's fuzzy feeling. I'm going to follow my heart. That's just what they teach us. Follow your heart. If you follow your heart, you're going to be going away from something else. This law that the wise have. Read.
Who can know it?
Who can what?
Who can know it?
Who can know it? But he want to discover it in itself. Read the next verse.
I, Yahuwah, search the heart.
He do what?
Search the heart.
He said, I search the hearts. Go ahead.
I try the reins.
Try the reins. So he tug on your heart to try to get you to go the right way. Like riding a horse. When you pull that string on this side, it makes him do this. He's trying the heart to tug on you to get you to come to the wedding. But they told us that most people don't want no parts of the wedding. Finish that out.
Even to give every man according to his ways.
They give it to what?
Every man according to his
They
ways.
give every man according to his ways. Psalms 37 and 30.
The book of Psalms, chapter 37 and verse 30. The mouth of the righteous speaks wisdom, and his tongue talks of judgment. The law of his Elohim is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide.
It says the law is in where?
Is in his heart.
The law is in his heart. Because it told us in the other proverbs that these people had a law. So the law is in their heart. Read.
None of his steps shall slide.
None of his steps shall slide. So you can see, the wise follow the law, and the wicked follow what? His own heart. Matthew chapter 7. Verse 24.
Book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 24. Therefore, these sayings of mine.
He said, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, go ahead,
and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man.
So he says, whosoever hear what I say and do them, I will liken them to what?
A wise man.
I will liken them to a wise man. Read.
Which built his house upon a rock.
On a what?
On a rock.
On a rock. Read.
And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not.
And it what?
And it fell not.
And it fell not, because this wise man built his house on a rock. Read.
For it was founded upon a rock.
Because it was what?
Founded upon a rock. And everyone that hears the sayings of mine.
So both the wise and the foolish, they hear the sayings, right? Keep this in mind. Read.
That hears the sayings of mine and does them not.
And if you hear this word and you don't do it, you liken it to what?
Shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Unto a foolish man. So this is somebody that hear this law, knows it, but he likened it to a foolish man because he don't do it. Read.
Which built his house upon the sand.
Did what?
Built his house upon the sand.
Built his house upon the sand. So all the people that's living on the coast of Florida, South Carolina, and all of them spots that's on the ocean, right around that beach area, what come through there all the time? Hurricanes and stuff, right? Is it wise to move there? That's kind of stupid, right? It's all them waves that's just so beautiful. It's so refreshing when I be sleeping and to hear the waves hitting up on side the thing. That's stupid. That's stupid. To even move right into them areas and know that it's going to happen. But it's even deeper. He said a foolish man puts his house on the sand. Where is sand at? What kind of place is sand be at? Where else? And where else? So if somebody got a house in the desert somewhere, that's a harlot. It's on top of sand. That's another topic though. We'll come back. Read that out. Verse 26 again.
And every one that hears these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
And great was the fall of it. So he's showing you the difference between a wise man and a foolish man, or the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. Again, 5 foolish virgins, 5 wise virgins. Remember, it's about a marriage. Proverbs 21 and 20. Both of them hear the word, but only one of them listens and do it and obey it and is obedient.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 21 and verse 20. There is a treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
He said, what was in there?
There is a treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Now, remember, what was the 5 virgins and what was the 10 virgins? What did they have? What was they supposed to have? They were supposed to have lamps. And they supposed to have oil, right? So if you go out with a lamp, but you don't have any oil, that don't make any sense. Or if you just have oil and no lamp, what does that get you? It's the same thing. So you need both of them. You need the oil and the lamp. Read that verse again.
There is a treasure to be desired.
Treasure. When you think of treasure, what comes to your mind? Gold and silver and things like that, right? Read.
And oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Oil in the dwelling of the wise. So we'll get back into the parable in 1 second. So it says, oil in the dwelling of the wise. So it says that the Ruach leads us into all truth and understanding. Let's get on Acts chapter 8. So now we got to find out what the oil is. What do y'all think the oil is that they needed to go out and get? Because you can buy it or sell it or run out of it. What do you think that this oil is that that the virgins are supposed to have? Anybody? Any takers? Take it to Ruach. Remember, you can buy it or sell it, because he told them, go out and buy it. Acts 8 and 18. Let's go there. We're going to run down a couple of candidates to see if they fit.
The book of Acts, chapter 8 and verse 18. And when Simon saw that through laying on of the apostles, hands of the Ruach HaKodesh was given, he offered them money.
He did what?
He offered them money.
So he's trying to buy what? He's trying to buy the Ruach. Go ahead.
Saying, give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay hands, he may receive the Ruach HaKodesh. But Peter said unto him, that money perish with you, because you have thought that the gift of Elohim may be purchased with money.
That means what?
May be purchased with money.
So it's showing you that the ruach is not this oil in this parable, because you can't buy it. You can't buy it with money. Read on.
You have neither part nor lot in this matter, for your heart is not right in the sight of Elohim.
Because he don't have what in there? It says the wise have something in their heart. And law, right? Go ahead.
Repent therefore of this your wickedness, and pray Elohim, if perhaps the thought of your heart may be forgiven you.
Maybe what?
May be forgiven you.
May be forgiven you. So the ruach is not the oil in this parable. Luke 11 and 13.
The book of Luke, chapter 11 and verse 13. If you then, being evil, know how to give good gifts on your children, and how much more shall your Father in Shamayim give the Ruach HaKodesh to them that ask him. And he was casting out a.
That's good right there. So you see that the ruach is actually free. You just ask. You don't gotta buy it, right? It's actually given out free, so it doesn't fit. But we gotta know. So you can buy this oil, you can sell it, and you can run out of it. Which the 5 foolish, they ran out of it. Is it faith? Is faith the oil? Anybody go with faith? No. Romans chapter 12, verse 3. Because y'all gonna just try to read me. Before we go there, what do y'all say that the oil is?
This is just a guess. Yes, right?
Yeah.
Now you said you could buy it.
Yeah, that's what the parable says. Remember when they came back, it says, go rather to them that sell and buy it for yourself. I like that. Go ahead. That's not it. All right, so we're gonna continue. Romans chapter 12 and verse 3.
Romans 12 and 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as Elohim has dealt to every man a measure of faith.
A measure of what?
Of faith.
So he dealt to every man a measure of faith. So we can't buy faith. Right? We can't do it. Abraham had faith because it was within him. You have faith, you can't buy this. Right? Let's get on Romans 10. Romans chapter 10. Romans 10 and 17.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 17. So then, faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of Elohim.
So faith comes by hearing and doing the words of Elohim. So again, you can't purchase this. Next candidate, grace. Anybody rhyme with grace? It's not tricks. It's not a trick. Anybody ride with grace? No, Agape already said time. Let's see. Can we buy grace? Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 7. Ephesians chapter 4 and 7.
Ephesians 4 and 7. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of Hamashiach.
He said it was bought.
Was given.
By grace. Right? But what did Noah do? What did Noah
Found.
He found it. He looked up, oh, grace up under here. No, you can't buy grace. No grace as well. You can't buy it. Let's see a little let's get Acts chapter 4. But grace is the most abused thing in the scripture. It's the most abused element in the script. Acts chapter 4 verse 31.
Acts 4 and 31. And when they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Ruach HaKodesh.
He says they were all filled with what?
With the Ruach HaKodesh.
Go ahead.
And they spake the word of Elohim with boldness. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart.
He says, and the multitude of them that believed. What is believing? Faith. This is key. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart. Go ahead.
And of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of Yeshua HaMashiach. And great grace was upon them all.
What was upon them all?
Great grace.
It says, great grace was upon them all. Right? So grace is here, right? Acts chapter 5 and 1.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 1. But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price. His wife also, being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet. But Peter said, Ananias, why have Satan filled your heart to lie to the Ruach HaKodesh?
To do what?
To lie to the Ruach HaKodesh.
So he lied to somebody. Who did he lie to?
The Ruach HaKodesh.
The Ruach HaKodesh. Read.
And to keep back part of the price of the land, whilst it remained, was it not your own? And after it was sold, was it not in your own power? Why have you conceived this thing in your heart?
In your what?
In your heart.
It says that the fool follow what? His heart. Read.
Though you have not lied unto men.
You ain't lied to me, but to who?
But unto Elohim.
Go ahead.
And Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the Ruach.
He did what?
Gave up the Ruach.
Fell down and died. But grace was on him. It ain't save him though, right? He told us that much great grace was on them, but it ain't save them. Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me where you sold the land for so much. And she said, yea, for so much. And Peter said unto her, how is it that you have agreed together to tempt the Ruach of the master? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and shall carry you out. Then she fell down straightway at his feet and yielded up the ruach.
So she fell down and died just like her husband because she still went along with the lie. It's a lie. But remember, great grace was upon them all. Grace didn't save them right here. Because you just lied to the ruach. So what's wrong with telling a lie? You shall not do what? You shall not. What is it again? Because if you bear false witness, you would be doing what? Lying, right? Revelations 21:8.
Revelation chapter 21 and verse 8. But the fearful.
But the who?
But the fearful.
Go ahead.
And unbelieving. And
the person with no faith, read.
And the abominable. And murderers. And whoremongers. And sorcerers. And idolaters. And all liars.
And all who?
And all liars.
What did they do to the ruach? Lie, right? Read.
Shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone.
This is what's wrong with lying. You'll have your part in the lake of fire. Now, ask y'all a question. What is grace? What is grace? Any takers, what is grace? Because it's a greatly abused thing. Oh, I'm on the grace. I'm on the grace. What you say it is? We don't see according to scripture. What does grace do? To do what? Give you a chance. Let's see according to the book what it does. Let's get Titus. Titus 2:11. Because we're trying to find out what fits, what's the oil that the 5 wise had and the 5 foolish didn't have. Titus 2:11.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 11. For the grace of Elohim that brings salvation.
What does his grace do?
Brings salvation.
Read.
Has appeared to all men.
So this grace has appeared to all men. Read.
Teaching us.
Doing what?
Teaching us.
What do the grace do?
Teaching us.
The grace teaches you something. Read.
That denying ungodliness.
Doing what?
That denying ungodliness.
Denying ungodliness. The grace teaches you to do what?
That denying ungodliness.
Go ahead.
And worldly lust.
And what?
And worldly lust.
Go ahead.
We should live soberly.
We should do what?
Live soberly.
Live soberly, because if we are in a drunken state, it's easy for the adversary to get at you. But this is completely opposite of what we think about grace doing, right? Because it actually teaches you something. So before the flood happened, what did it say Noah found? So out of all them people that was back there living, Noah was the only one that wasn't doing these things. Read that again.
For grace of Elohim that brings salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us denying ungodliness and worldly, that teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust.
Ungodliness and worldly lust. Noah wasn't a part of those things.
Live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
And what?
in this present world.
In this present world, read.
Looking for that blessed hope.
Looking for what?
For that blessed hope.
Looking for that blessed hope. Let's get on Hebrews 12 and 28.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 28. Wherefore we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace.
Let us have what?
Let us have grace, whereby we may serve Elohim acceptably with reverence and godly fear. For our Elohim is a consuming fire.
He says, wherefore we receive a kingdom which cannot be moved. Let us have grace, whereby we may serve Elohim acceptably with reverence and goodly fear. Because the fear of him is the beginning of what? Wisdom. The last candidate, well, not the last. Love is the oil love. That won't even be love. That's the fuzzy feeling. That ain't really love. So, love is the next candidate. Is love the oil? Let's see. 1 Corinthians 13:13. Because we know Mashiach, he loves his bride, right? So let's see.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. And now abides faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity.
Is charity. What is charity? Love, right? The greatest of these is love. Charity. This word in here is agape. Have anybody heard of the word agape before? Agape. Keep that in mind. Agape. John chapter 15, verse 13. John chapter 15, verse 13.
John 15 and 13. Love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
He do what?
Lay down his life for his friends.
He says, read that one more time from the top.
Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
He says that a man lay down his life for his friends. That's what Mashiach did, right? How much was that? It cost him his life. So greater love than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. This is agape love. Keep this in mind. Agape love. Right? Let's get what verse was you just at? What chapter is that? 15:13. Let's get John chapter 13, verse 34.
John 13 and 34. A new commandment.
He said what?
A new commandment I give unto you.
A new suggestion.
A new commandment I give unto you.
He says, a new commandment I give unto you. Read.
That you love one another as I love you, and that you also love one another.
So he says, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if you have love one to another. This love right here is agape. I'm going to keep drilling it in. Agape. Remember, Mashiach's bride. He has agape love for his bride. All right. 1 John chapter 5, verse 2.
First John 5 and 2. By this, we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
And do what?
And keep his commandments.
And keep his commandments. He says, I give to you a new commandment.
For this is love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
They're what?
Are not grievous.
They're not grievous. Read.
Whatsoever is born of Elohim overcomes the world. And this is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith.
Even what?
Even our faith.
Even our faith. So his commandments is tied to what? To love. They go hand in hand. His commandments is tied to love. Agape love. Not regular love, but this agape love. I want you to keep this in mind. 1 John chapter 2, verse 3.
1 John 2 and 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. Know him and keeps not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
He said the what ain't in him?
The truth is not in him.
The truth is not in him. Go ahead.
This is his word. In him truly is the love of Elohim perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him.
So if you do this, he says, if you don't do this, that the love of the truth is not in you. John 14:15. It's going to all add up in a minute.
The book of John, chapter 14, at verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments.
If you what?
If you love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, keep my commandments. All right. Now, we was reading that parable from Matthew chapter 25, right? But before he gave this parable, he said this. Let's go to it. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 11. Matthew chapter 24, verse 11.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 11.
Now remember, there's two men. You have the husband and you have the other guy, that's the pimp. You have the bride and you have the harlot, right? The husband got laws, commandments, all of these things. The other one don't have no laws. Only thing he care about is you not obeying the husband. Keep that in mind. Go ahead, Matthew 24, verse 11.
Matthew 24 and 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold.
He says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love or the agape of many shall wax. So this word iniquity here is G45:8. And it is anomia, the condition of without law. What did the wise have? A law. So right here, it should say, And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And because the law or lawlessness shall abound, the agape of many shall wax cold. So lawlessness is going to increase and the agape is going to go away. Remember, I asked y'all about this congregation, Philadelphia, right? Everybody wants to be a part of Philadelphia, right? We're going to see why. So the agape is going to go away. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 22.
Matthew 7 and 22. Many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name, and in your name have cast out devils, done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
What?
I never knew you.
That's what he told the 5 foolish virgins, right? Away from me, I don't know you. Read.
I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity.
You that work iniquity. It's the same word, G 45:8, which is anomia. You who preach against the law. So he's showing you that it's going to get so lawless that the agape love is going to go away. So this is anomia. Let's get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Pick it up at verse 1.
Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1. Brethren, by the coming of our Master Yeshua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by Ruach. 2 and 2.
That's Thessalonians?
2 Thessalonians.
Okay, go ahead.
That you be not soon shaken in mind, nor be troubled, neither by Ruach, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed.
The who?
The man of sin, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he is as Elohim sits in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholds that he might be revealed in his time.
Who is this talking about? Might be revealed in his time. Anti-Mashiach. Remember, it's two people. It's the husband and the pimp.
For the mystery of iniquity does already work.
He says, for what?
The mystery of iniquity does already work.
He says, for the mystery of iniquity, which is the mystery of anomia, the condition without the law, does already work. Go ahead.
Only he who now lets will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed.
And then shall who?
The wicked be revealed.
Then shall the wicked be revealed. So when we look at this word wicked, it's G459. It says animos. The other word is Anomia, this is animos. It means destitute of the Mosaic law. Read, and then shall the man without law be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. So this guy right here goes by anomia. Anomia means what? Without the law, right? Keep that in mind. It means without the law. So let me look up something right quick. And Mashiach is what? The walking what? He's the walking Torah, or the walking law. The word for law in the Greek is nomos. It's nomos. This guy is animos, and Mashiach is nomos. Remember, one got a law, one is lawless. It's a whore, and we have a bride. They're both trying to get you to come to their sides, right? Let's keep it in mind. Let's get on Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 again. Mm-hmm.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 24. Therefore, whosoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock.
So it was founded on a rock. This is the wise man. Jump back to verse 13.
Verse 13. Enter you in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go therein.
So many gonna go into the broad way. We know this. So most people already are considered to be of the five what virgins? 5 foolish virgins. They're not gonna get to the wedding. But he always tells us, he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. What does endure mean? To hold on to. Let's look at that definition right quick. Matthew 13. Yep, mean to hold on, to endure. Let's see in scripture though. Psalms 27:14.
The book of Psalms, chapter 27 and verse 14. Wait on Yahuwah.
Do what?
Wait on Yahuwah.
He that endures till the end, the same shall be saved. He said to do what?
Wait on Yahuwah.
Go ahead.
Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart.
He shall do what?
Strengthen your heart.
He shall strengthen your heart. Psalms 33 and 20. Because a lot of people, when we start going through some things, they start to say stuff like, "Man, them niggas sitting around talking about that book, waiting on that book, man. We're gonna get these guns and ride on these niggas." That's you being foolish. There's no way that we can beat these people with the stuff that they got. So if you jump out and try to do it on your own, you didn't wait. This is why he told us, vengeance is mine. So these people don't want to wait. We see it all. Every time something come up, we got these people that get in their QEP mode. And what happened to him? Exactly. Proverbs 33:20. 33:20.
Psalms 33:20. Our soul waits for Yahuwah. He is our help and our shield. For our heart shall rejoice in him, because we have trusted in his set-apart name.
So these people, they wait on him. They don't take it on themselves. They go out and get all these people up and then go and mess around and get everybody killed. Psalms 37:7.
Psalms 37 and verse 7. Rest in Yahuwah and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself because of him, in his way, because of the man who brings wicked devices to pass.
Read that again.
Rest in Yahuwah and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked devices to pass.
So don't be afraid of the man that brings wicked devices to pass. Trust in Yahuwah. He's going to bring you through it. All right? You got to find out what the oil really is. Love is definitely a part of the oil. Let's see what it all the way is. Revelation chapter 3. Because you can buy it. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 18.
Revelations 3:18. I counsel you to buy of me gold tried in the fire.
He says, I counsel of you to buy of me gold tried in the fire. It's the gold at the stores. Is it expensive? Yeah. Hard to buy, right? So if you bought gold from the Most High, how much would that cost? It's no ticket on it. He says, I counsel of you to buy of me gold tried in the fire. What does gold being tried in the fire represent? Purified, according with us as the people. It's your trials and your tribulations. That's what he says. I'm going to bring you through the fire, right? So it's trying you. So your trials is buying you something. Read that again. Verse 18.
I counsel you to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that you may be rich, and white raiment, that you may be clothed, and that the shame of your nakedness.
Because we got to be clothed in that right garment to be a part of the wedding. Read.
And the shame of your nakedness do not appear, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see.
That you may what?
That you may see.
That you may see. See what? What is it that you need to see? He says, I'm going to do this that you may be able to see. What is it that you need to see? I'll just tell you. You need to be able to see the truth. When you got the law and you understand the law, you can see certain things happen before they ever happen. Right? There was some oxen here that just got baptized about maybe a month ago, and we told them, see this water, make sure that you're ready, because this and the third is going to happen to them. What did we tell them, Trav? Before they went in, what was going to take place? In what way?
One was with women.
One was with women. So guess what? About 3 days later, he called me up and said, you was right, man. This one from high school called me up, bro. Just like you said. I told you. So that was his trial. It was something to try to tempt him to get him back off the path. So I counsel of you to buy of me gold, tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that's your righteousness, clothed, you got to be clothed in the right garment, that your nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes, that thy eyes may see. Remember, you can buy this oil. Let's get Proverbs 23:23. Proverbs 23:23.
Proverbs 23:23. Buy the truth.
Do what?
Buy the truth.
He said, do what to the truth?
Buy the truth.
Buy the truth and what?
And sell it not.
And sell it not. So buy this truth and sell it not. Now we always used to use this scripture like, oh man, he's selling them DVDs. You can't sell the truth. It's not talking about that. Buy the truth and sell it not. Get this understanding and don't get rid of it. All right? Get this truth. Do not get rid of it. What else come with it after you say sell it not?
Also wisdom and instruction and understanding.
Also wisdom and instruction and understanding, which you get all three of these from what? The law. The law. So the 5 foolish versions had what? They had the law. And the 5 that was foolish didn't have what? So it says that Satan, or the man of the man of iniquity, he was without what? Without the law, Animos, and Mashiach was what? The law, which is nomos. So one has the law and the other one. So the oil is the truth. The truth is the law. And if you don't have the truth, you're going to run out. Proverbs 21:20 again.
Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 20. There is a treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
And what's in the dwelling of the wise?
Oil.
Oil is in the dwelling of the wise. They have the law. Therefore, when it's time, they don't have to go out and buy it because they already got it with them. But he told us in Matthew 24, he says that this love, because iniquity shall abound, that agape would go away, right? Let's go and see what agape is. Does everybody want to be from what congregation? Which wife? Everybody want to be a part of? Philly, right? Hold on. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Matthew 24:11. And because iniquity, that word, shall abound, the agape, G26, it is brotherly love, affection. So lawlessness is going to abound and brotherly love is going to go away. It's going to go away. Get me James chapter 3 and verse 1.
James 3 and 1. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the great condemnation,
because it told
the greater condemnation,
that many false prophets gonna come out. They're gonna speak against the law. They're gonna tell you you don't need to do this. They're going with the pimp and the whore. They're following with them. So he's telling you, For my brethren, be not many masters or teachers, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. Because you're going to teach people that you don't need to follow that law. That's what this guy is, because he is animos. No law. Mashiach is nomos, the law. Luke 21:8.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 8. And he said, take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach.
Stop right there. He says, many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach. What does this mean? He says, many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach. We've been taught that it means. He's saying, many shall come in my name. They're going to agree that I am the Messiah. Not saying that they are the Messiah, because if it was saying what that they are, it would say, many shall come in my name, saying they. But these people are going to agree that he is the Messiah. But what they going to do? Read.
And the time draws near. Go you not therefore after them, but when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For those things must first come to pass, by and by.
But the end is not by and by. So these people are going to agree that he is the Messiah. That's key to knowing this. They're going to agree with him and ride with it. But don't follow these people. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 1. One more time. Chapter 2 verse 1.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Master, Yeshua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by ruach, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of Mashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first.
A falling away, apostasy. Go ahead.
And that man of sin be revealed.
And that man of what?
Of sin be revealed.
That man of sin be revealed. He is without law. Read.
The son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he is as Elohim, sits in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholds, that he might be revealed in his time.
That he might be revealed in his time. Go ahead.
For the mystery of iniquity,
for the mystery of lawlessness already works. Go ahead.
Only he that now will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed.
And then shall the wicked, or the no law, animals be revealed. What did he tell us over and over about his commandments? If you do this, if you love me, keep my commandments. Because he's coming for his bride, right? Over and over. And if you love him, you will love who? The Father. And who else? Your brethren. Your brethren. Remember, we all want to be a part of this congregation of Philly, right? And what does agape mean again? Brotherly love, right? Let's go to Revelations Let's go to Revelation chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 3 and pick it up at verse 6.
Revelation 3 and 6. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Ruach says unto the congregations, unto the Malach of the congregation of Philadelphia, write, these things said he that is set apart, he that is true, he that has the key of David.
So this is his bride, Philadelphia. Read.
He that opens and no man shuts, and shuts and no man opens.
That's that door. Told the virgins, the door is shut. Away from me. Go ahead.
I know your works. Behold, I have set before you an open door.
So he set before this congregation or this wife an open door. None of the rest of them has an open door. All the rest of them got to go through some things. Go ahead.
And no man can shut it. Have a little strength, and have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan.
Is this for all Israel right here? No, but everybody teach it like this. See, he gonna make them devils come and kiss our feet. It's only talking to the people of Philadelphia. Verse 9 again.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, that I have loved you, because you have kept the word of my patience. I also will keep you from the hour of temptation.
This is why you want to be a part of it, because only this group is going to be kept from the hour of temptation. Everybody else is going to go through it. This is why everybody wants to be from Philly. Read. Verse 10.
Because you have kept the word of my patience, I also will keep you from temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
So everybody else that's not a part of Philly go through it. But it's something that's required to be a part of Philly. It seemed like it should be easy. But accordingly, it can't be, because it's only one that's going to escape it. So let's go back. Philadelphia equals what? Brotherly love. So it seemed like brotherly love would be the easiest thing in the world, but it's not. So how can we take this back to the beginning? It says, for the love of many shall wax cold, since iniquity shall abound, that the love of many shall wax cold. How can we take this back to the beginning? Philly is called what? Brotherly what? Brotherly love. Who was fighting in the beginning? All brothers. Through the whole book of Genesis. First, you had Cain and Abel, right? The agape went away. I'm going to kill my own brother. And these are blood brothers. So imagine if you're willing to kill your own brother with the same blood as you, what you will do to somebody that's not, quote unquote, your blood brother. So this is why everybody wants to be from Philly. Then after Cain and Abel, we got Ishmael and Jacob. And Isaac. Ishmael wanted to kill him. Then we had who next? Esau and Jacob. He said in his heart, I'm going to do what to you? I'm going to kill you. The brotherly love wasn't there. We can fake like it is, but it really ain't here. That's why it's only one congregation that's going to make it through scot-free. Everybody else in the world fall in the category of one of these congregations. But everybody want to be from Philly. But not that many people really, truly have brotherly love. This is what required to have this. So we look at when somebody do something to us, just like we was trying to talk about in that Day of Atonement stuff, somebody do to us, we quick to do this. I'm cutting you off from me, right? Can't be. If you don't have this brotherly love, you will not be a part of the congregation of Philly. Let's go to the last script. Let's see something. It's about having compassion and having love for one another, just like he says, I have loved you. Therefore, love your brethren, right? Over and over and over, he kept stating this and putting this out here, but it really ain't out here. So everybody that I've been talking to saying, whoa, man, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Well, guess what? You won't be a part of Philadelphia. That means you're going to put you and your family through some hell in order to make it. Right? So if you love your neighbor like you love yourself, you wouldn't do certain things. So let's go on a secular level. Tyrese just came out and was crying about not being able to see his child, right? And people is mocking that. Now, all you gotta do is quickly flip yourself into his place. Wow, if the court took my child and I was crying out, would I want somebody making fun of me? Making memes of me? You wouldn't do that. A basketball player got his leg broke terribly with his foot flipped all the way around. They made a meme out of it. He saw that. His children saw that. So if you thought for 1 minute, if I broke my foot like that, would I want somebody to make a meme of me? Absolutely not. You wouldn't do it. But nobody got no compassion for nobody. That's why stuff hop off, old man laying on the ground, been shot, people step right over him. No compassion. Nobody has no compassion. That's why it's only, keep talking about a remnant gonna make it. Only a remnant. Because nobody got no brotherly love for nobody. It's all about me and myself. So with this blackout stuff, everybody's actually been trying to come together and get together. So if it popped off, we would be together. Not looking out for self. I got some stuff for myself. I got this and I got this. We should have all been trying to come together. Even though we didn't think it was going to really pop off, it was a lie. Because nobody don't have no compassion for a fellow man. We don't love each other as we love ourselves. So let's get 2 Samuel 19. Anybody know anything about Absalom? Absalom, anybody know anything about him? Well, Absalom was before Solomon. He's one of David's sons, right? So this shows me just how wicked Satan really is. 2 Samuel chapter 19. So it's easy to say, if I were to find out that my child is gay or that we don't agree with, I'll disown him. Right? I said this before myself. I'll disown him. But we sin against y'all all the time, right? What if he decided to say, I disown him? What if he do that? He said that you're supposed to forgive your brother how many times? Why did he put such a high number on that? Because how many times have we sinned against him? Over and over and over and over again. Even if you don't know it. Even if you're not aware of it. You doing it with your thoughts, with your mind, all of these different things. You constantly sinning against him. This is why he says, I'm long suffering, because he have compassion. He have this brotherly love for us, that he laid down his life for us, right? But we quick to get that nigga, man. I was tested yesterday. This boy ain't even a believer. I was driving, right? About to drop off the last couple of kids I got on the bus. And this dude walk out in the middle of the street, bend down, and tie his shoe to stop the bus. I speed up. Woo! He move on out the way. While he's doing it, I'm blowing the horn. And as I get close, he sit back and he do the, I don't do that, but he got the two middle fingers up at me like this as I ride past. I'm steaming inside. Right? I'm steaming. So as I drop this child off, in my mind, turn around and go head him off. I saw what way he went. Right? I saw what way he went. I'm being real. I saw what way he went. So everything in me is saying, go cut him off. Then he gonna be on the side of the bus where the door opens at. But as I'm riding, ready to go back around there, this stuff popped into my mind. And instantly, just like that, just because he put his fingers up at me, what is that? What is that? So I want to go around here and hurt this boy because he put his fingers up at me. What is that? It's nothing. It ain't nothing. But I had to think about this. I had to think about it in order to be able to not do it. So just that quick, I could have got into something. What if he had a gun? All these type of things. But I got to think about it. Father, forgive me. He don't even know what he's doing. Because he don't even know if I got a gun to do that, to walk out in front of this bus. He don't know if I'm crazy to just really speed the bus up and run him over and kill him. He don't even know what he's doing. This is what we got to start thinking. We got to put ourselves back like Yah. So every time we get mad, and we got to think, wow, what if Yah said that to me? Oh, let me change that. Let me change that. So this let me know just how wicked and rotten Satan is. Because Absalom is a picture of Satan, and David is a picture of Messiah. Absalom did some of the worst things ever. He tried to kill David to take the kingdom over. He slept with David's wives, right? He did all these things. But let's see. David got a heart after who? After Yah. 2 Samuel 19, pick it up at verse 1.
2 Samuel 19:1. And it was told Joab, behold, the king weeps and mourns for Absalom.
He do what?
Weeps and mourns for Absalom.
Wait a minute. He crying and weeping for his son, Absalom. This the son that just tried to take the kingdom from him? This the son that slept with his wives on top of the roofs for everybody to know about it? He did what for him?
Weeps and mourns for Absalom.
He didn't disown him even with this. So again, what if y'all say, I disown you? Read.
And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son.
He was what?
Grieved for his son.
Go ahead.
And the people got them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face.
He did what?
Covered his face.
He covered his face And did what?
And the king cried with a loud voice, "Oh, my son Absalom! Oh, Absalom, my son, my son!"
So after all these things that Absalom did to him, he still got compassion and love for him. He crying about this. And his son did the unthinkable. So just like Absalom is sick about his son dying, what do you think the Most High still was really feeling about Satan? The same thing with this love, with this agape love. It don't go away. So in order to be from Philly, we got to have this agape love, this unconditional love, that when somebody crosses us, that if they repent, you can forgive them. And you will actually feel better when you do it, as opposed to holding this in here. Going around mad all the time ain't good for you. It messes you up in the inside. It makes you what they call bitter and angry. So does anybody think they're part of the congregation of Philadelphia? Is anybody a part of that wife? If you're not a part of it, you better start working to it. You better start working towards it, because it's being revealed to show us this for a reason. Because a whole bunch of people don't know nothing about the reason why Philly makes it scot-free and nobody else don't make it scot-free. Agape love, my people. With that, we say shalom. Any questions?
When you mentioned buying the truth, what is some examples of buying?
Buying the truth is talking about your trials and your tribulations that you go through in life. So basically, when you buy the truth, it's you done went through a trial. And when you go through a trial, what are you supposed to do? Learn from it. Learn from it and apply it to the law. Right? So just like we was telling them brothers that got baptized, what was going to take place with them. And just as sure, it came just like I told them what was going to happen to them. Let's go back to that scripture, Proverbs 23:23. That's why he says, I counsel you to buy gold tried in the fire. It ain't something that you can literally buy, but your life buys you truth. And then once you get the truth, you know better, but you can go and spend it or get rid of it just as quick as you got it.
So when they were telling them to go buy some more world,
you're supposed to they already knew better. You're always supposed to have the law in here. Proverbs 23:23.
Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 23. Buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous shall greatly rejoice, and he that begets a wise child shall have joy of him.
So I'm going to show you an example of how you got the truth, or you bought the truth, and he says, sell it not. Also wisdom and instructions and understanding. All of this is the law to tell you what to do and what not to do. So remember, it's a whore and it's a bride. Jump down to verse 27. This is how you would sell it all away. Read. Verse 27.
Verse 27. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit.
So the law would tell you not to mess with this woman, right? But a fool follows what? His heart. Even though he done bought the truth and know it, he know what the law say, his body or his heart will still make him fall for this woman. Go ahead, verse 28.
She also lies in wait as for a prey.
As for what?
As for a prey. and increases the transgressors among men.
Among who?
Among men.
So this is how you would give it right back away. After you know the truth, you bought it, your life has showed you the trials and tribulations. If I mess with this woman, I can get AIDS, I can get herpes, or any of these type of things, but he let you escape it this one time, and you think, I can roll the dice again. It didn't get me the first time, and you go right back. This would be a fool selling it right back. What is that other one? Proverbs 21:20, Proverbs 21 and 20, I believe. Go ahead.
Proverbs 21 and 20. There is treasure to be desired.
Treasure to be desired. I counsel of you to buy gold and silver, tried in the fire. Again, your trials and tribulations through your life. Go ahead.
And oil in the dwelling of the wise.
Oil in the dwelling of the wise. That's the law. Go ahead.
But a foolish man spends it up.
See what it say? Spends it up. How do you spend it? You will go right back and do the same foolish things that you did beforehand. You don't learn from it. That's why he say in Thessalonians. Let's go there. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10. He that saith, I love him and keepeth not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 10.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth.
Love of what?
The love of the truth.
They receive not the love of the truth or the law. Read.
That they might be saved.
That they might be saved. So a lot of people flat out don't want the truth. Whole bunch of people really don't want it. So when you show them, that's why he says, a fool beaten with 100 stripes won't get it, because he don't want it. He want to live in folly. Because let's be for real. When you be sinning, it be fun, right? It was fun doing all that stuff, right? You couldn't wait to do it. So the fool, he want to continue doing it. Finish that out. We're done. 2 and 10.
Verse 11. And for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusion.
That he should what?
That they should believe a lie.
That they should believe it's really the lie. Because the anti-Mashiach is animals, no law. You're going to fall for it. You're going to fall for the miracles. So Mashiach, when he was on the scene preaching, before he was preaching, he was doing what? In front of the people's faces. He was doing miracles, right? In front of the people's faces and feeding 5,000 with a couple of fish and a couple of loaves of bread. And the people was loving him. Oh my goodness, this guy is great. But the minute he started to speak the word, what happened? They all got up and left. Because we don't want the truth, the word, but we love the miracle and all of these things that's going with it. So that's how the guy gonna come. He's gonna come with lying signs and wonders. Again, we love miracles, but we don't like the word. We don't like the truth. And nobody has compassion or brotherly love. So, anybody else got anything?
I just want to say this lesson really helped me, like really. The same thing happened to me about a week ago. I was taking a coworker home, and I'm coming on Greenfield in 96, so it's back up right there. And a person cut me off. I was like, mother, get it, like. And I actually caught up with him on the side of their car, not knowing they could have a gun. As soon as I got to the car, I'm like, what do they have a gun? What do I do now? You get punked. I'm like, I ain't got no gun. I'm like, I thought about like, why'd I do that?
It ain't worth it, bro.
Man. This will really help me. For real.
Go ahead. I get you
I
next.
got a question about you for the lesson, like at the end of it, you had mentioned about you had mentioned about selling, like selling yeah, well, selling like to the soul. Like you said, selling because you keep on doing the same thing. You know the law in your mind. You might not know all of the 100%, but you know like 95% of it.
I give you a sneak preview when he says, "For the wages of sin is death." He uses this phrase, wages, right? For the wages of sin is death. So you bought sin. And when you bought it, it causes what?
Yeah.
Death. Right? Go ahead.
So that's it. I ain't thinking about that.
I kind of already know.
So you know how you can look at YouTube, I don't know if anybody do it, but you know, I look at YouTube a lot, and they got like actors and stuff, and they say, I sold my soul to the devil. So you kind of asked my question, but I'm trying to figure out if you sell something, how you get something back. So I guess if the actors get back, they get the money and they get death. You know, and then because they break the law. You know, that's all I would say.
I got you. But that's what it's talking. It's like in a metaphoric form of saying that buying the truth and sell it, and sell it not. Because again, you got understanding. The law gives you understanding to know what it's talking about. That's why I use that same term about the wages of sin is death. It's no physical money, but you bought it. And since you bought it, you worked for this. You know what I'm saying? So this is your pay. Your wages is death.
But if you sell the truth, what you really selling? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So that Isaiah 50:1. Basically, by the middle of the verse, it says, "Behold, for your iniquities have you sold yourselves for your transgression." Right? So if you sell the truth, you essentially selling yourself to do evil.
Okay, so I'm looking at you got two different types of selling, right? You got selling your soul, okay, you got selling your soul where you sin and wages of death. Then so when you sell the truth, I'm not really getting that, right? When you sell the truth, are you like doing righteousness?
No.
So that you can get.
You're doing lawlessness.
Right.
You're going completely. The truth is the law.
Right.
So when you buy the truth, that means when you buy something, you get it. You get it. But when you sell it, you get it. So now, you know.
When you buy the truth, you're saying that you're going to do right.
Now you have it. You have the truth.
Okay.
So another word is get the truth. The word buy out, but get it. Get the truth. So you come every week to get the truth, right? So if you get, now I got it. Why would I give it away or sell it? All right. So it ain't nothing worth this. There's nothing in this world worth me giving the truth back away and going back. And I know better.
I've been doing it, buying and selling truth and all that other stuff. I never really understood it for several years. I just left it alone because I keep on studying.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing that you didn't just decide, I'm going to make something up and go with it. Because that's what a whole bunch of people do. I'm just going to make something up because it sounds good. That's good.
But my whole point of saying that is that I didn't really understand, like, fully really admit.
Yeah. A lot of us didn't because we always were saying, man, you can't. Somebody say, man, I'm about to sell these DVDs or something. The truth DVDs, which I still don't agree with. But we would always say, man, buy the truth and sell it. You can't. It's not the same. We always did that. But I ain't talking about that. Oh, yes, Chicago.
That's really helped me out. I need so really praise God.
Absolutely. It's deep. We got to get compassion for people, just like we were wanted for us. You know what I'm saying? And we got to always look at stuff from Yah's perspective on everything. Everything. So again, when the people that I talk to, they always kind of say stuff like, oh, I forgive them, but I just don't want nothing to do with them. So again, now you just got to just flip it right back. Wow. If y'all said that to me, where does that leave me? And every time, that's what you got to do. You got to look at it from Yah's perspective and say, if he said this to me, dang, I'll be lost. Therefore, I ain't going to say it to you. So, if Jerome came to the house and stole something, and he repented about it, but I'll say, yeah, that's my dude, but nigga ain't coming in my house. They come.
Oh, shoot.
That is scary. That is scary. Right. Calm down, calm down. Have compassion on that thing.
Yeah, any more questions?
Yeah, anything else before we close out? Like I was saying, the ark basically was saying he stole something, he repent. But I say, no, I forgive him. He can't come back in my house though. Did you really forgive him? No. You didn't.
I'll bring that tape back to you.
You know what? You still forgive him, but I mean, you trying to protect.
So they repent.
They're repenting of
The
it.
thing is repent, true repentance.
And repent means to what? Turn from it. So if this person repent, why would you not have them in your house no more?
He like to protect my kingdom. I don't want no transgression. So we done committed transgression. You know what I'm saying? He like, I got a kingdom. It's gonna be for my folks that don't commit no transgression. It's only gonna be for the people who feel that. Right? So if you repent of your transgressions, but his mindset is, I ain't letting nobody in and transgress against you. You get it? So that's how you look at it. Like if this person was repenting, I'm sorry, I was tripping. I was in the wrong mindset. If you really forgive him, it's not no, you can't come into my house. It's like,
That's only if he comes here and says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's what we said. Repent.
We ain't getting in the kingdom if we don't repent to the Father. If he stole something from you, he like, yeah, that boy watching the middle night.
He come back wearing that dress.
Exactly.
He walking around wearing it.
Now that's a whole different story. No, he can't come back in here because you boldly rocking my watch.
That's the thing, though. That's all stumbling down and actually forgiving somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing that we overlook. It's not that easy to forgive somebody for doing something. You know what I'm saying? It's not that easy at all.
What if y'all did it to you and says, I'm not dealing with you? I forgive Sister Terry, but I don't want nothing to do with her.
At that point, you can forgive them like Father, they know how to do it. Right? That's that forgiveness. They don't admit to you yet. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't let them back in my crib, you know what I'm saying?
There's a difference between somebody that stole something and somebody that's a thief. You follow what I'm saying? Right. If you're a thief, no, you can't come to my house. But if you stole something before, but you, like you said, you true repentance, yeah, that's a difference.
Have one of y'all ever stole anything?
Yep.
I don't want you in my house. You stole before.
I'll still
Right, exactly.
Exactly. There you go, right there. There go the compassion, right there. You don't do it anymore. You repented of it. This ain't your life anymore. Like the ox said, there's a difference between a thief. What'd you say?
Somebody that stole something and a thief.
Right.
Like, you just asked if you stole something before, about 4 or 5 people over there was like, yeah, I know. But are you a thief? No, I ain't no thief.
Okay, I got a question.
Go ahead.
So now, how do we deal with this with people who's teaching the law, statutes, and commandments? Because you can study something and you can say this means this, and somebody else can study something and they say, well, I'm not seeing what you see. I'm seeing this.
Hey, hold it. We gonna pray out there. You just ask me.
Now think about it. If that was y'all, would you hold everybody?
Brother, you love.
I got no brother.
All right, let's pray. Let's pray. Pray. Father, Yah, we come before you once again. Thank you for the word that is going forth, Father. We pray, Father, that word fall on the good ground of our heart, Father, that it's able to grow and flourish, Father, that you will provide the increase as that word is planted in the soil of our hearts, Father, that you would allow that word to grow, Father, so that we can be used as vessels for your word to flow through, so that we can show the brotherly love that was spoken about in the scriptures, that brotherly love that was amongst the congregation that you saw fit to open the doors for, Father. We pray that door be open for us, Father, as we walk in your word and show and express brotherly love amongst each other, Father, and amongst those that we would have an open mind and an open heart, Father, to receive our brethren and to have open dialogue and speak clearly, Father, so that we can gain brothers, Father, as opposed to shunning them away. Father, we pray ultimately, Father, that you would just use us, allow us to be servants, Father, unto you, Father, calling those people who you have deemed worthy unto the marriage. Father, we pray and ask that you would just continue to walk with us, lead us, guide us down that straight and narrow path, Father. And all these things we pray and we give thanks. Bashem Yehovah, Wabekah Yehoshua, Hamashiach, Wabawaka Kodesh. So be it.